Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining me, Kyron from Pinnacle Action Coach, for another business owner interview. It is my pleasure today to speak with Sean Galloway, owner of Dreamers Construction. Sean, thanks for joining us today.
No problem. Thank you for having me.
So I just want to kick off and ask you to tell us a little bit about Dreamers Construction. Tell us about your business.
Okay. Well, we are a full around construction company. We service investors, homeowners, corporations, whoever kind of needs work. The work varies. So sometimes it could be as small as, a bathroom remodel. It could be as big as a whole house remodel or business remodel. So it varies, but that's more so what we do.
So given that spectrum of work, what's your target audience or your ideal customer look like?
Um, when it comes to bathrooms and kitchens, predominantly, uh, I try to stay in like the middle class to upper class, just because those are more so the people who are in my budget range on what I'm trying to achieve for my bathrooms and kitchens. Uh, More so, most of my customers are women or they're the ones who watch HGTV, so they visualize, oh yeah, I want to have this dream kitchen or this dream bathroom, or a married couple. So those are more so my target audiences that I try to go for.
I see. Do you service outside of Cincinnati?
Yes, I have. I've done work in Atlanta. I've done work up in New York and in Florida before. So I do Akron, a little bit of Kentucky. So I've been all over for the most part.
So, given that your work spreads outside of Cincinnati, and you try to stay within the middle to upper class families, you know, thinking about COVID, how has that affected your business model?
So when it comes to servicing outside of Cincinnati, I've given virtual quotes. I've been real selective about, whose house I go into and how I approach you. If you inquire about getting work done, I try to eliminate the people who might, just be window shopping for the best prices and everything, and just try to cut down to the chase. Like, hey, how'd you hear about me? When are you interested in getting renovations? What are you looking for in a contractor? It's those things. That way I know if they're even a right fit for me, as opposed to me going and figuring all that stuff out in person. Just figure that out over the phone. That way I can kind of decide on if you're even worth me going out to, or if it works out in that favor.
That's yeah, and that makes a lot of sense. I imagine that the virtual quotes allow you to create efficiency in your business. And
Definitely.
then I imagine that you find or have a team of people that support projects that you sign on.
Definitely. Definitely.
Yeah. So with COVID, everyone's business has changed, right? People don't meet in person anymore. You mentioned that the digital atmosphere of doing quotes. What are other ways that you've had to change during COVID?
I mean, it's crazy because when COVID first jumped off, in the construction industry, we used the N95s like every day, all day. Now you can't find them, and now, or if you do find them, they're very expensive. It used to be to where we would just abuse N95s. We would have like 100 of them on a job site, and 50 of them would just be reused. And I mean, it's crazy. And now that you can't find them, now you have to be cautious about how you demo, how you ventilate your jobs, how you don't have to breathe all this dust in. So I mean, it's definitely changed up the way on how we work. We have to, kind of take care of ourselves a little bit better. I'm sorry, not a little better, a little different. Uh, so we don't have the good respirators as we used to. So now we kind of have to make shift about it. Uh, I mean, it's changed up dramatically. I mean, the way on how we go into your house, we try to disinfect everything before we even go in.
Mhm.
That way, just in case there's a possibility of exposure. I mean, just multiple ways, honestly.
So, with people being really shy about being, just kind of human contact at this point, have you seen growth in your business? So because I hear a lot in the industry, there's growth, right?
Hmm.
And that's maybe spurred by people being at home and
Hmm.
um, coming more to terms with what they're seeing every day.
Correct.
Or um, or have you seen something different, and if you've seen a spike in your business, how are you preparing yourself to deal with it?
So I definitely have seen a spike in my business during COVID. It started when it first jumped off. Was that last March, and at first I was working on a I was working on a customer's house, and when it first happened, that's when uh, uh, every Fortune 500 company was like, hey, we're sending you guys home. You guys are working remote.
Mm-hmm.
And I was working at a lady's house. I was doing her basement remodel, and she worked at P&G, and she kicked us out. And we were like, "What's going on?" I mean, we're in the middle of hanging drywall, and she was like, "I'll call you. I'll call you in a couple weeks. I'll call you in a couple weeks." And she just rushed us out and didn't say anything. And I was a little thrown off by it a little
Mm-hmm.
bit, and it bothered us at first because we didn't know what we did. And then that's when it started hitting the news, like, "Oh yeah, like about to be a pandemic and COVID-19 is breaking out." And at first, when it like the first week and a half, first 2 weeks, like we didn't have any work. The work slowed down,
Oh wow.
and I went back to just working on my own properties or my own like those small jobs that I had, and I didn't have any customers to go to. And I would say about a week and a half, 2 weeks in, that's when the calls started coming, like, "Hey, we need our bathroom remodeled. Hey, we need our
Mm-hmm.
kitchen remodeled." And it was fine. The work picked up dramatically, but at that time, Home Depot was like a madhouse.
Yeah.
So it was like lines outside of Home Depot that were like 100 people deep, and they were only like letting like 3 people in at a time. They had to let 3 people out, and it was
Wow.
crazy at that point. So for us, it was stressful because if we would have to go to get materials for a job, you had to make sure you got your materials for the whole job, or
Mm-hmm.
you were going to be at Home Depot for at least 2 hours to get what you needed to get. So it changed it up a little bit in that aspect, but it got better over time. The line started going down. They didn't start having people wait outside, and the work just kept on picking up. A lot of people who are stuck at home, they look at the same ceilings that they're looking at. They got, chips in it. They look at the same baseboards that haven't been painted for 20 years, the same kitchen faucet that's hanging off. And they're like, you know what? Let me call someone to get this fixed because I'm tired of looking at it. And then that's when they call us, and that one little project sometimes turns into 20 projects around the
Yeah.
house, and it works out in our favor. So it definitely helped out.
Yeah, it's interesting. The more you sit and stare at the same walls, the more you notice every little thing that can be fixed and repaired.
Definitely.
um,
Definitely.
so how long have you been in business for yourself?
It was 5 years this past August. So I've been legally in business 5 years, but I've been doing it for a while since I was 16.
Hmm.
Well, a little bit before I was 16, but working actually official for a company at 16. Um, yeah, I told myself that I was gonna own my own business one day.
Hmm.
So, when I was first 18 and I went to the union, I started buying like extra tools and everything. Like, oh, I'm gonna put this in a storage unit and wait until I own my own company. So
It's a
I've been
great
preparing
idea.
for a while. Yeah, so I was determined for it.
So 5 years is a long time, and I'm sure you've seen a lot of change in your business. What's been the biggest thing you've learned over the 5 years as a business owner?
It's honestly been to not hire friends and family. Uh, Avoid doing work for friends and family. Um, Nothing against them. It's just it's best to keep business and stuff
Hmm.
like that separate. Um, um, I mean, that's one of the biggest things because when I first got on, my first 2 years in business, I wanted to hire my friends. I wanted to hire,
Hmm.
people who said that they needed help, people who I went to school with. And it was like, I was always trying to look out for people, but they didn't care about my well-being or my well-being of my company. So,
Hmm.
I had to come to a realization to where it was like, I got to do what's best for me.
Yeah, no, I think in any facet of life, I think most people would say the same thing. Keep your
Mhm.
business separate from your friends and your family. Um,
Correct.
so, are you running any special offers that you'd like to run past the audience or anyone who watches the video?
Yeah, so I just got done doing 25% off bathrooms. At the beginning of March, I'm gonna end up doing 15% off kitchens. So I'm gonna try to push that, and hopefully that goes just as successful as the bathroom promotion did. Bathroom promotion was a complete success. I got booked out for all of February and all of March for the bathroom. So I mean, it was definitely a success on that part. So
So does that mean people will be waiting until the end of March for kitchens, or is that something that you have capacity to handle
yeah,
immediately?
yeah. So we have capacity to handle multiple jobs at one point in
Hmm.
time. So we work on multiple jobs, whatever is on the schedule. I don't stretch myself too thin. I try to get it to where I have an ample amount of guys to execute a job and keep them in rotation. That
Okay.
way, I try to average like a bathroom a week. That way, I know like, hey, if this bathroom was taken, if it's ahead of time, then I can go ahead and try to thumb someone else in and tell them like, hey, we have a earlier spot if you want like to come in, and if not, then that's fine. We just keep them on the same day that they were on the schedule for. But yeah, we have enough manpower to take that on.
Great. So just kind of the last thing I want to ask you is what's the thing that inspires you most today in your life?
Um, I would say my kids. My
Hmm.
kids are my motivation. They're the reason why, I push so hard. Try to get them in good schools, try to, get them in a good neighborhood. So, they're the reason why I go so hard on this. So they're my inspiration.
That's awesome. That's great. So and that really wraps up our interview today, and I really appreciate your time. Um, for anyone who's watching, who's interested in taking advantage of, your kitchen offer or calling for a bathroom, I will be sure to share your information along with this post
Thank you.
or this video. So thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Stop recording.